guess it's sending data, sending data. Man, I wonder if it's streaming under the same name again. Let me see something. All right, so YouTube's title has been updated. So let's hope that it holds out. All right. So we're gonna try to continue from where we left off. So we were saying that the nations are, the best interest of the nations is to keep us polluted, and our task is to try to ensure that we come out of their pollution. So we're going to look that we are in the age of pollution, the age when we will be actually, truly, the emphasis will be on uncleanness, on getting us and keeping us unclean, so that the nations themselves can hold on to this world. Enoch chapter 93, verse 8, you can download the book of the Enoch from our website, justtheword.org/downloads. And it reads, "And after this, in the 6th week, all those who live in it will be blinded, and the hearts of them all, lacking wisdom, will sink into impiety, and in it a man will ascend, and at its end the house of sovereignty will be burnt with fire, and in it the whole race of the chosen root will be scattered." This is more or less the time of our people being scattered in captivity. "And after this, in the 7th week, an apostate generation will arise. And many will be its deeds, but all its deeds will be apostasy." This is the time that we are in, people. We have to understand the time that we're in, while we have to be fighting and battling so many false religions. I was speaking with someone this evening, and I was speaking to them about the Just the Words Charts YouTube channel. How aggressive the people are. These people who say they are believers seeking the kingdom. How aggressive, how sinful they are in manifesting. And it is like it is a norm. Because the focus today is on knowledge. And so when you come with something that is outside what they think is not knowledge, they attack, they mock, they laugh, they curse. This is the apostate generation. Because if I feel that something is wrong, if I feel that you are not right, if I feel that you're off in your belief, in your understanding, I'm going to talk with you, have a civil conversation.
Zach, you're on mute.
I'm not going to mock you.
I can't hear him.
Okay. Then why did you wait so long to tell me? Why did you wait so long to tell me? Anyway, let's go on.
Now we can hear you.
But look how long you couldn't hear me. You should have told me long ago. Anyway.
I didn't even see your face.
You see it now?
Yeah, I see you now. You took over the screen, so I know you're here.
Okay. If there is any problem, just I have on the headphones, so if there's any problem, you tell me, okay? Anyway.
Understood.
Anyway. Yes. So this is why the world is like this at the moment. An apostate generation, a generation that has arisen, and a generation that has arisen that is actually sinful, thinking that they are of the Most High. Unclean, polluted, filthy, thinking that they are pure. And at its end, the chosen righteous from the eternal plant of righteousness will be chosen, to whom will be given sevenfold teaching concerning his whole creation. So in this time, these people will be given what? Different teachings. And when iniquity and sin and blasphemy and wrong and all kinds of evil deeds increase, as it is today, and when apostasy, wickedness, and uncleanness increase, a great punishment will come from heaven upon all these. So you see that in the end times, in the times that we are in, uncleanness will be the hallmark of the day. Uncleanness will be a dividing factor. So when things start to get really, really bad, as it is today, as I tell you, you cannot even talk to believers online. Sometimes I don't even answer because you can't know what they are coming with. Some believer, I'm telling you, it is so difficult, and these people are so, you feel the evil in them, and these people are there arguing with you about the truth. Hey. When it increases, when uncleanness increases, a great punishment will come from heaven upon all these. So people, we have to strive to get away from the uncleanness of this world. And the holy Yahuwah will come in anger and in wrath to execute judgment on the earth. To execute judgment on the earth. In those days, wrongdoing will be cut off at its roots, and the roots of iniquity together with deceit will be destroyed from under heaven. And there we go with idols again. And all the idols of the nations will be given up. Their towers will be burnt with fire. In fire, and they will remove them from the whole earth. And they will be thrown down into the judgment of fire, and will be destroyed in anger and in the severe judgment that is forever. And the righteous will rise from sleep, and wisdom will arise, and will be given to them. And after this, the roots of iniquity will be cut off, and the sword will destroy the sinners. The blasphemers will be cut off in every place. Blasphemy will be destroyed by the sword. So during this time, this is the millennial reign. So that is what is happening. We are in this time of unrighteousness, when uncleanness will increase. Wickedness, apostasy, blasphemy, everything will increase at this time. Okay? So we have to remember, us as the children of Yasharal, we were sent into captivity for uncleanness. This is something that is not often spoken about. We were sent into captivity for uncleanness. We have to understand how important uncleanness is to our salvation. Ezekiel 36, verses 16 to 20. Ezekiel 36. Verses 16 to 20. Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Yasharal dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their own doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. As the uncleanness as of a removed woman. And what happened? Wherefore, because their ways were as the uncleanness of a removed woman, wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherein they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way, and according to their doings I judged them. So we were scattered because of uncleanness. And when they entered into the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my set-apart name. When they said to them, These are the people of Yahuwah, and are gone forth out of his land. So by our ways we profaned his name, and when people identified us with him, we also profaned his name. Ezekiel 39, verses 23 to 29. And the heathen shall know that the house of Yasharal went into captivity for their iniquity, because they trespassed against me. Therefore hid I my face from them, and gave them into the hand of their enemies. So fell they all by the sword, according to their uncleanness, and according to their transgressions have I done unto them, and hid my face from them. So because of our uncleanness, we were sent into captivity. So because of our uncleanness, we were sent into captivity. To get back into right standing with the Most High, we have to come out of uncleanness. So in order to preserve their rule, the Gentiles keep us in a polluted world. So today the world is polluted left, right, and center. Everything in this world is polluted, from religion right down to every single aspect of our lives. All right? We live in a naked world. The world is naked. The women are naked. We are sold into a system. You know, when I was speaking, was it my daughter a couple of days ago, and I was telling her how the true way is run. That our people, if you look at Isaac, when Isaac got a bride, his father sent into the land for one of his distant relatives to marry, because they didn't want to marry the Canaanites. But it is the nature of how he received his wife. The servant of Abraham just went, prayed to the Most High, and said, whichever woman came to help, I think, that would be the one for Isaac. Isaac did not know his bride. Isaac did not date his bride. Isaac did not know his bride. But it's through the move of the Most High, the inspiration of the Most High, the servant went and fetched Rachel for Isaac. Or Rebecca. I'm always mixing them up. Yeah. Yeah. And fetched his wife. And when he fetched his wife, Isaac did not know her, but Isaac loved her. The whole point is, the brides were chosen back in those days, not based on our lusts. Today, Babylon has set up his system where we choose partners based on our lusts. The ones who we find attractive, the one who looked a certain way, whatever. And then sometimes, a lot of times, we test them before marrying them. Sometimes the test is so long, people take years before they're married. They're called common law, and they are married together, and they live together and are not married. So Babylon sets up his system. They call it dating. What is that sound? There's a sound in the background. Anyway, so Babylon sets up dating. And that dating is actually testing people before you are married to them, which contributes to a whole lot of lust. And you train the children from high school. They call it prom in Babylon, USA, where little young children are taught to go out on dates with the opposite end, building up the lust and desires in them from an early age. So everything about Babylon is corrupted. Everything about Babylon is to get us into uncleanness. Everything about them is unclean. I won't even spoke. I've spoken about them so many times. So to preserve their rule, they keep us in uncleanness. So let us look at 3 of the main sources of the pollutions of the nations. And we are speaking about the pollutions as it pertains to our belief, as it pertains to believers. We are not speaking about pollutions as it means like, their advertisements and their movies and their pornography and all of those things. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the pollutions that are targeted to believers. 3 main sources. Polluting the Sabbath is one of them that we're going to look at. Polluting the food is what we're going to look at. We looked at food before. We're going to look at it differently this time. And fornication, which is idolatry, whether spiritual or physical idolatry. We're going to look at how they target individuals or believers today. So we have to understand the uncleanness as it relates to holiness. And this is given to us in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, starting at verse 11 to about verse 14, I think. There is this sound in this thing. Hold on, let me see something. I don't know what that sound is. Anyway, in the book of Haggai, it tells us about the relationship between uncleanness and holiness. Haggai 2 verse 11. It says, "Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, Yahuwah Sabaoth, ask now the priests concerning the law, saying, if one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? Shall it be kadosh? And the priests answered and said, no." So if we have something that is holy, and it touches something that is ordinary, does it make it kadosh? Does it make it holy? No. On the other hand, let's go at verse 13. Then said Haggai, if one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, it shall be unclean. So if something that is clean, holy, touches something that is ordinary, it cannot make it holy. But if something that is unclean touches the same thing, it's going to make it unclean. The point is, then answered Haggai and said, so is this people, and so is this nation before me, saith Yahuwah, and so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer there is unclean. It's speaking about the children of Yasharal at the time. Because they are unclean, the Most High says everything that they touch shall be unclean. What is that saying for us? We have to seek out to walk in holiness, to leave uncleanness behind, so that the Most High cannot condemn us and say every work of our hands is unclean because you are unclean. It's very important to understand this. We will be there, being pure in our own eyes and not cleansed from our filthiness, not knowing that the Most High is viewing every work of our hands as unclean. And this is very serious. So in this time, we have to be striving to walk in cleanliness, to walk being cleansed. All right? All right. All right. Yeah, so we have to ensure that we are cleansed. Very important. Because if you go back, let's go back to the very first verse that we used. There is a generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. We don't want to be that generation, so we have to ensure that we are cleansed from our filthiness, so that we cannot be the ones down here, so that we cannot be the ones who are polluted down here, and the Most High is thinking that all the work of our hands are unclean. Now, we have to understand where the uncleanness actually comes from. The biggest enemy of the children of Yasharal today, of course, is the tabernacles of Edom. The children of Edom are our greatest enemies. They are the ones that are charged in this world. These are the ringleaders of the people who have been charged to bring us into uncleanness. That is why these are the people in this world who have been led and have led us into the religion of Christianity. And I thank my sister Shamarian, it was, who presented this, the book, The God of the Seer, God the Seer. And that is the inspiration where we got this from today. Book of God the Seer, chapter 1, it was. The uncleanness of Edom. Let me get it probably a little bigger. The uncleanness of Edom. In the 31st year of King David's reign in Jerusalem, which is the 38th year of David's reign, the word of Yahuwah came to Gad the seer in the month of Iyar, near the stream of the Kidron valley, saying, Thus says Yahuwah, Go be courageous and stand in the midst of the stream and cry in a great voice, Tarry and hasten, tarry and hasten, tarry and hasten, for there is still a vision for the son of Jesse. And during the cry, face the eastern gate on the east side of the city, and stretch forth your hands towards Shamaim. And I did exactly what I had been commanded to do. And it came to pass, when I finished crying out, I opened my eyes and saw a yoke of oxen, led by a donkey and a camel, coming up from the Kidron valley, called Kidron stream, the donkey on the right side of the yoke and the camel on the left. Now what's unique about this? A yoke of oxen, the oxen is a clean animal. And it's being led by two unclean animals, the donkey and a camel. That is why, people, I tell you, our people today must never, ever, ever, ever allow yourselves to be led by the tabernacles of Edom. Never, ever. And a great voice like the roll of thunder was following them, crying with a bitter voice, Seer, seer, seer. These are four mixtures that confuse the people of Yahuwah. Mixtures that confuse the people of Yahuwah. The people of Yahuwah here being represented by the oxen under a yoke. The yoke that they are under, of course, is the yoke of bondage, of captivity that we are under. For the impure and the pure have been mixed. This is what they do, the Gentiles do. This is what Edom does, mixing the pure with the impure. That is what they have done with Christianity. They took our scriptures, they took our Messiah, they took our Alua, they changed our Alua for God, they changed the Messiah for Jesus Christ, and they changed the Most High as well for the Lord, who is Baal, and gave him to us in a religion, took our scriptures, gave us 66 of them, and told us that these are the only ones you must read, called it the religion, the book of their religion, and then misled us, mixing the impure and the pure. Mixing the impure and the pure. So some things with Christianity line up with what we have to say. Oh yes, there is a Messiah, but they give us a polluted Messiah. Oh yes, we believe in one God, but they give us a Trinity mix up. Jesus is God and all sorts of mix up. So everything they do, they mix the impure with the pure, and that is, my people, in order to mislead us, in order to keep us polluted, to keep us unclean, so that we will be rejected by the Most High. For the pure and the impure have been mixed, and then impurity took control over purity. This was when our belief was given to the Gentiles. And we originally, our belief was controlled through Jerusalem, through the apostles. Peter, James, and John were the leaders there. But then the Gentiles took it over and took control over the purity. And then they gave us a mixture of impurity. Notice what it says. A mixture from whom? Seir, Edom, to rule over them. So this mixture, this religion of Christianity was given for them to rule over us. That is why we tell people Christianity is the religion of white supremacy. Christianity and Judaism, they are religions of white supremacy. Islam is the religion of Arab supremacy, because they give us the Quran and say the only way to read the Quran is in their own language, and it is centered around them. So Seir, Edom, mix the pure with the impure so as to rule over us. So in order to shed the rule that Seir has over us, it is not enough to say that you have come out of Christianity, because that has been proven to be a fallacy. Because when we were in Christianity, we heard that Jesus is God. When we came out of Christianity, we got the understanding that the Most High is different from his Messiah. The Messiah was a man who was given Yahusha's, his Ruach. That was what I learned in the sacred assembly after I came out of Christianity. And that is why, and I have proven it over time, that that is what it is. But then, it was not enough for us to come out of Christianity, because the people have come out of Christianity now and have gone back in this Christian way to say Yahusha is Yahuwah, kindly helped by a publication called Deceiving, a book called Deceiving, because our people go a-whoring after a name, selling our souls for a name, because the Deceiving translated out the names. Our people says, yes, we got a book with the names. And what did they do? They translated the names in their wickedness. Let me show you a translation that really hit me. The other day, somebody showed me that translation. I'm going back to God this year, but this just came to me. The other day, someone gave me this wickedness that the people at Sifa had done. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Let's go to... Oh, I don't have the Sifa here. Man, oh man. Let me see if I can download it quickly so that I can get it on the screen. Let me see if I can download it quickly. All right. All right, so that one is there. I'll restart eSword. Let me restart it, and we will see. It's John 13:13 to 14. That same word there, the Lord. Let me show you these people what they have done. The Lord is always a problem. That name, the Lord, because they gave it to us for confusion. So let me show you what they have done. So, if you look in the King James Version, or most of the other versions, you see in John 13:13, ye call me master and Lord. The word Lord there is the word kurios, of course. And kurios is a word that actually means supremacy, supreme in authority. So it can mean supreme in authority, a man who is supreme in authority, or the Most High who is supreme in authority. So supremacy, supreme in authority, that is controller, by implication Mr. as a respective title. So that Lord can also mean Mr. God, Lord, master, sir. Even sir can mean the Lord. But what did the Sifa translate this word as? Look what they did. In the Sifa, it says, ye call me rabbi or teacher. That is what master means. And Yahuwah. And ye say, well, for so I am. You see how wicked these people are? You see how wicked these people are? These are the people who are driving this Yahusha is Yahuwah thing. There is no such thing. They are putting in a whole different teaching, and the people now who are idolatrous are actually gravitating after this. Yes, Yahusha is Yahuwah. Eh? And these people are Gentiles. They are Edomites who are doing this. If I then, your Yahuwah and Rabbi, eh? How can he be the Most High and a Rabbi at once? Common sense, spiritual sense could tell us. If he's Yahuwah, he does not need to be a Rabbi, because if he's Yahuwah, he is supreme. He has all the wisdom. He does not need to be go down to be a Rabbi. Have washed their feet. Ye also ought to wash one another's feet. Wickedness. These are the people who are driving this. Apostate. Remember, we are in the age of what? According to Enoch, apostasy. So this is what is happening in this world. All right. So let's go back to the uncleanness of Edom. A mixture from Seir to rule over them, to increase power over and betray a righteous doer, to destroy holiness, to crown wickedness, to set up impure matters in the guise of purity. This is it. This is the Sefer right here. This is it. To set up impure matters in the guise of purity. So this is what the tabernacle of Edom is doing. This is their threat. This is why they cannot be allowed to lead us, unfortunately, for them. All right? Hey. So, was I going into the Moon Kingdom? What did I say? 1 to 25. Okay, let me continue. And after the voice, a great quake occurred that shook over the impurity and blew the donkey and the camel into the moon with a stormy wind. And the moon was opened and looked like a bow, a semicircle, and both her points reached toward the ground. And lo, the sun came out of heaven in the shape of a man, with a crown on his head, carrying over his right shoulder a lamb despised and rejected. And on the crown on his head 3 shepherds are seen, shackled with 12 shackles, and these shackles were of gold, plated with silver. And the voice of the Lamb was heard great and dreadful, like the voice of a lion roaring over his prey. Woe unto me, woe unto me, woe unto me! My image has been diminished. This is Yahushua HaMashiach, his image now diminished into Jesus Christ. My refuge has been lost. My lot and destiny has turned me over to my spoilers, and I was defiled until evening by the touch of impurity. And it came to pass, when the voice of the Lamb ceased speaking, lo, a man dressed in linen came with 3 vine branches and 12 palms in his hand. And he took the lamb from the hand of the son, and put the crown on his head, and the vine branches and palms on his heart. And the man dressed in linen cried like a ram's horn, saying, What are you doing here, impurity? And how did you get here, impurity? That you have carved yourself a place to combine impurity with my covenants that I have set with the vine branches and palms. Who are the vine branches and the palms? The children of Yasharal. But Edom came in and set up impurity and said it is for the whole world. Catholicism, that they called universal, has come in and split up itself and has now fostered daughter harlots to pollute the whole world with this impurity. But as we have said so often, it's not about a religion, it's about a nation. This is it. This is confirmation. To combine impurity with my covenants that I have set with the vine branches and the palms. And I heard the lamb's shepherd saying, There is a place with me for the pure, but not for the impure. This is the reason for the teaching today, people. The emphasis in getting out of impurity. The emphasis in getting out of impurity into purity. So that there will not be a generation that is pure in their own eyes and not cleansed from their filthiness, but there will be a generation that is pure before the Most High, having been cleansed from their filthiness. So there is a place with me for the pure, but not for the impure. For I am a set apart alua. This is what we looked at earlier. For be ye therefore set apart, for I am set apart. Be ye therefore holy, for I am holy. Be ye therefore kadosh, for I am kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. There is a place with me for the pure, but not for the impure, for I am a set apart kadosh alua, and I do not want the impure. I only want the pure. So while we are there on social media arguing over different things, what is the name of the Most High? That's one of the most important things. One of the most interesting things. The correct pronunciation of the name. And we sit and we argue over it. Yes, we have to look at names that are impure. Here's the understanding I have with the name. We have different languages, we have different accents, but there are names that have been presented to direct us into impurity, like the name Jesus Christ, the name God, the name the Lord. Those were names that were used to bring us into impurity. But now we are coming out and striving after the names. Some of us might call him Yahuwah, some Yahweh, some Yahoo, some... I'm not going to be arguing with you over the exact pronunciation. I'm going to be arguing with you over abandoning the names that were set up for impurity. So we are there arguing over the exact pronunciation of the names, while the most important thing is whether or not we have cleansed ourselves from impurity. That is still not addressed. Because the Most High told us that He will be the one who will give us His name in the end. He will give us a new name, and He will take the names of Baal out of our mouths when He brings us into the land. So as long as you take yourselves out of the names of impurity, having the exact name, it's neither here nor there to me. Except when we are gathered together now, when we are gathered together, we would wish that all of us be using the same names. Okay? I only want the pure, even though I have created them both, and my eyes are equally on them both. But there is an advantage to the abundance of purity over the abundance of impurity, just like there is an advantage of a man over a shadow. For the shadow does not exist without man, and only by the man's existence is the shadow given to the tired and exhausted. This applies in the same way to the pure and impure. For all gates of intelligence are turned around since the death of the 8 branches of the vine, as is found in words of righteousness in the true book. But because of the wanderings of the sheep, their rest and divisions, intelligence is stopped up until I do greatly in keeping favor. So intelligence, blindness in part has happened to Yasharal until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. The Most High is the one who is going to wake us up in the end time from this blindness. So Edom has sought to keep us in this blindness. All right? So we're speaking about the Shabbat. We're going to look at how they pollute the Sabbath. Very important. It might sound frivolous and something that we should have known, but we're going to look at it. Because the Sabbath is being polluted today. Heavily polluted. Let's look at what the Sabbath sign has to do with cleanliness and uncleanness. So the Sabbath sign and holiness, or sanctification, set apartness, we go to Shemot 31:12-17, Exodus 31:12 12 to 17. What am I doing on this CIFA thingy here? Get away. I only downloaded it to get this thing off. 31:12. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Yasharal. Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep. For it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahuwah that doth sanctify you. Here is the first significance of the Sabbath. It is this sign that marries the Most High to his people. Without this sign, you are not aligned to the Most High. Very important. So the Gentiles know that if they pollute us with the Sabbath, if they get us to keep a wrong day for the Sabbath, then they have won. My Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. As long as we are living, it shows who the Most High's people are. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is set apart unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. So it is in the best nation. What is the word again? It is best for the Gentiles. Brain freeze. It is best for the Gentiles to get us to defile the Sabbath. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. And the word defile there actually means to profane, to break one's word. Yes? To break. So, to break the Sabbath, if they get us to break the Sabbath, then they keep us away from the Most High, and they continue their very merry ways. For it is wholly set apart unto you, the children of Yasharal. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. So if they get us to keep a wrong day for the Sabbath, then we will be working on the Sabbath, yeah? And therefore defile and pollute the Sabbath. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the rest of the Sabbath of rest. Kadosh to Yahuwah, whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. He said it again. If they get us to work on the Sabbath day, then they got us. Remember, we're looking at 3 different things that the Gentiles will use unbelievers to get us to be defiled. Wherefore, the children of Yasharal shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. A perpetual covenant throughout their generations. So to actually see which Sabbaths we are to keep today, all we have to do, we have to go back in the days of the Bible and see what Sabbaths they were keeping. And can I get it quickly? I didn't even plan to incorporate this into it today. I didn't even plan to incorporate it today, but things are, when they come to me, I guess, we'll have to deal with them. So we have an article on our website called Lunar Sabbath Debunked. Lunar Sabbath Debunked. And in it we have some historical evidence of the, what is it? Where is this now? Cassius Dio? Yeah. Yeah, so we have, for example, so to find out really, because this is one of the hot topics today, to find out, let me see if I can get Yeah, we can deal with that. In the article, we showed about 3 different historical references to show that the Sabbath was kept on what they called Saturn's Day. Because the people today, all of a sudden, they have gotten awakened and said, by the way, Saturday is Saturn's Day. We are worshipping Satan. Or we are worshipping Saturn by keeping Saturday. Not realizing that every single day has a name of the week. So every single day that, for example, if you're worshiping on Sunday, you're worshiping the sun, Monday, the moon, Tuesday, Tyr, Wednesday, Odin, Thursday, Thor, Friday, Frigg, and Saturday, Saturn. But they only focus on Saturn. So let's look on Saturn's Day, which is the day they call Saturday, being the day of Saturn. 70 to 84 CE, Frontinus, a Roman soldier who lived from C40 CE to 103 CE, wrote a book on military strategy called Strategemic, yeah, you know, in 84 AD. In it, he writes, the deified Vespasian attacked the Jews on the day of Saturn, a day on which it is sinful for them to do any business. Frontinus Stratagem 2.1.17. This showed you that back in the days of the Bible, Saturn's day was the day that they kept as the Sabbath. Yeah? All right. Let's look at another one. 63 BCE. This is written by who? Cassius Dio. He's speaking about battles during those times. He says, most of the city, to be sure, he took without any trouble, as he was received by the party of Hyrcanus. But the temple itself, which the other party had occupied, he captured only with difficulty. For it was on high ground, and was fortified by a wall of its own. And if they had continued defending it on all days alike, he could not have got possession of it. As it was, they made an excavation on what are called the days of Saturn, and by doing no work at all on those days, afforded the Romans an opportunity in this interval to batter down the wall. So it shows that the children of Israel kept what the Romans called the days of Saturn as their Sabbath. Let's see another account. The latter, on learning of this superstitious awe of theirs, they were speaking about the Sabbath, made no serious attempts the rest of the time, but on those days when they came round in succession, assaulted most vigorously. Thus the defenders were captured on the day of Saturn, without making any defense, and all the wealth was plundered. The kingdom was given to Hyrcanus, and Aristobulus was carried away. Cassius Dio, Roman History, 37:16, 1-4. It showed that on the day of Saturn, the children of Israel did not make any attempt to defend, because it is the day of the Sabbath. Okay? So, knowing all that, all of a sudden everybody has gotten smart, matching up with the book of Daniel that tells us in the end time, the fourth beast, that they will think to change times and laws. So the Gentiles now are changing times and laws through their main people, we see. World's Last Chance, one of the biggest people there who are doing it, changing it to the lunar Sabbath, getting us to profane the Sabbath day. Let's continue. It is a sign between me and the children of Yasharal forever. For in 6 days Yahuwah made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. What is this saying to us? It is saying the Most High is reverting, is putting the observation of the Sabbath to creation. He is putting the observation of the Sabbath to creation. in verse 17. Because he rested 6 days and was refreshed, then he created the Sabbath, the seventh day. And we made a disclosure because there was someone that's saying he has never seen anyone disprove the Sabbath from Genesis 1:14. And this is where we disprove the lunar Sabbath. He said no one can do it, but the Most High can do it. And the Lord said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day. Where are we? Yeah. To divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. How does this disprove the lunar Sabbath? Because the sun, the moon, and the stars were not created for weeks. It says for days and years. Why did they leave out weeks? Because the weeks were created from creation. Because from the first 6th day and then the 7th day, that is when the Sabbath cycle started and did not and has not ended. But the Gentiles, the spirit of anti-Messiah, has now convinced us that this has magically changed without anything being given to his servants, the prophets. As it says in the book of Amos, is it chapter 3, verse 6, surely Allah will do nothing, but he first revealed it to his servants, the prophets. There was never, ever, 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 let me put it on the screen, by the way, because it has to be seen. Sometimes you say it, it is when it is seen, it is most profound. So the Most High will do nothing until he reveals it to his servants. Verse 7. Surely Yahuwah Allah will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. Which prophet in the scriptures has prophesied that there will be a change of times and laws? Daniel. Who did he say would do it? Did he say the Most High would do it? No, he said the beast, the fourth beast, the end time antichrist, anti-Messiah would do it. Anyway, so let's look at the war against the Shabbat. Because the Gentiles hate the Shabbat. Let's look at it from time immemorial. Because they know it is a sign between the Most High and his people, and it is what keeps the Most High's people elevated when they are in righteousness. 2 Maccabees 5:24-27. 2 Maccabees 5:24-27. He sent also that detestable ringleader Apollonius with an army of 22,000, commanded him to slay all those that were in the best age, and to sell the women and the younger sort, who, coming to Jerusalem, and pretending peace, did forbear till the holy day of the Sabbath, when taking the Jews keeping the holy day, he commanded his men to arm themselves. This is what we were talking about, that we just read a while ago, of when they attacked the children of Yasharal when they were keeping the Shabbat, and that is how they defeated them. And so he slew all them that were gone to the celebrating of the Sabbath, and running through the city with weapons slew great multitudes. But Judas Maccabeus, with 9 others, or thereabout, withdrew himself into the wilderness, and lived in the mountains after the manner of beasts, with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. Now, Sabbath is we're speaking about the Sabbath, but look at what he's saying. Sometimes we will be led to flee in the mountains, flee in the wilderness, and live after the manner of beasts, feeding on herbs, on grass. on herbs, lest we should be partakers of the pollution. Lest we should be partakers of the pollution of the Shabbat. So we ourselves now, when we are in the midst of Babylon, and the word says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, and we hesitate and said, well, probably it's not, oh, well, but this and but that and but that. Partaking in the pollutions of Babylon, we are nowhere near any way righteousness. We are thinking we are pure, but not cleansing ourselves from the filthiness, from our filthiness. 2 Maccabees 6, verses 1 to 31. 2 Maccabees 6, 1 to 31. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Alua. This is the aim of the Gentiles people, to get us to not live after the laws of Yahuwah. That is why they gave us Christianity. The law is done away with. Even though Hamashiach said he did not come to do away with the law and the prophets. Yes? They convince us that the law is done away with. This is it. And to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympios. And this Jupiter, of course, is known today as Yahweh. Yahweh. We have an article on our website called Who is Yahweh? That Yahweh, J-O-V-E, J-O-V-E is pronounced Yahweh. And that is who those people who say they are Jews and are not, that is who they worship. A corrupted version of the name of the Most High. And that in garrison of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles. This is why you have your Christian rioting today and reveling today, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy place. There we go, Christianity. The word says, and we have a lot of our people today coming in and questioning about this thing about women. The word says, I forbid a woman to teach nor to usurp authority over a man, but to be quiet. What does Christianity say? No, don't be quiet. Teach and be pastors and be leaders. And had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. Women must not be in the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. All right? Brought in things, the Christmas and their Easters, etc. This is their Christianity right here. There's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. The altar also was filled with profane things which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Yahudim. So it is today. When we say we are Israelites, man oh man, the people in the country they call Israel, they can say they are Israelites, they are Jews any day and are accepted. Oh, they are Jews. They are God's chosen people. Oh, wow. But let us say we are the children of Israel. Yes, you're going to hear. How do you know this? How do you know this? You are this. Eh? It is not lawful for us to be a Yahudim. Yes? It is not lawful for us to keep Sabbath days. It is not lawful for us to keep Sabbath days. So that is why they came and they changed it first to Sunday. And this is how you know the Sabbath is Saturday. Anything Christians changed, remember the title of this, got this here, that the Gentiles, the children of Seir of Edom, they mixed the impure with the pure. So they had a day of worship, but they polluted the day of worship and changed it from Saturday, Sabbath, not Saturday, the seventh day Sabbath, the day they call Saturn Day, the day they call Saturday, they changed it to the Sunday in honor of the sun. Or the ancient fast. So the Day of Atonement, you don't hear Christians keeping the Day of Atonement generally. Yeah? And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices, and when the fast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus carrying ivy. That is to follow their traditions. Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews that they should observe the same fashions and be partakers of their sacrifices. So this is their aim. That is why they push Christianity on us. If you ever see how aggressive Christians are to people who even say they are Hebrew Israelites, aggressive, and they treat them as if it is the worst thing because they are not following the way of the Gentiles, which is Christianity. And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. For there were two women, oh well, we can leave that alone for now. All right. Let me see anything else to do with the Sabbath. All right. So, also we have to understand that the one world kingdom is based on profaning the Sabbath. Why is this important for us to understand? Because today, a one world kingdom is being set up over this world. A one world kingdom is being set up over this world. It is called the New World Order. It is in this time that the profaning of the Sabbath has been switched from Saturday, the seventh day, from being profaned to Sunday, from now being profaned to a week. They keep it, and guess what the thing is? They keep it all different days. If you ask them, each and every one of them is keeping a different day, it seems. One person will tell you, oh, the Sabbath is Sunday this month. The next one will tell you, oh, it is Tuesday. And it is Wednesday. And it is Friday. But next month is going to be Thursday. And everything rotating. With the 7th-day Sabbath of the Most High, with the 364 days calendar of the Most High, the 7 days never change. The 7 days never change. 364, it is 52 7 days in the year. With the Lunar Sabbath, it goes beyond 50, it's 50 point something. So their year cannot accommodate 7 fitting in continuously rotating. That is why they have to change it. But the Most High made it 52 times 7 equal 364. That's just how it is. And by the way, when we're speaking about the lunar, we keep New Moon Day, as in the scriptures. The moon determines the months so that it can determine the feasts. We just do not use the moon for the year, which is for the 364-day sun, and the 7-day week, which was from creation and has never changed. That's our point. All right? So 1 Maccabees 1, 41 to 49. One world kingdom is based on profaning the Sabbath. That is why at this time, the one world beast kingdom is profaning the Sabbath by setting up what they call the Lunar Sabbath. And pollute the sanctuary. I don't want to go back so far for the sake of time. Let me see where I was, 41 to 49. All right. 41, yeah. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. This is what they are doing in the United Nations, people. One world government, United Nations Agenda 20-something, 2030 or 2050 or 20. They have several agendas. And the agenda is the whole world shall be one people. Whenever the world is one people and the Gentiles are ruling, we have to get rid of the Sabbath. Because the Sabbath is a sign between the Most High and his people, and it is the division, it is the thing that divides the world from the Gentiles. If the Sabbath is accepted, if the Sabbath is followed on the right day, the children of Yahshua can turn to the Most High, and the world cannot be in one accord. One accord has to be achieved by getting rid of the Sabbath some way, some shape, some form, way, form. Let us get rid of the Sabbath. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Yasharalim consented to this his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. That is the aim of this new world order. One world government kingdom, for us to profane the Sabbath. Anything you see rising up at this time is to profane the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and cities of Yehudah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and the festival days. If they get us to profane these days, then they have won. So notice, they went to the religious people. They sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Yehudah. Jerusalem refers to where the nation is controlled, the temple. So these people go to the religious people, and through them they work, the influential ones. I see one rising today. I don't know, it came out of nowhere. PTT, rising up. Lunar Sabbath. And you're going to see, look at it, people. The people you're going to see, Lunar Sabbath people rise up. It's coming from the beast. I am telling you, it's spiritual, coming from the beast. Read these things. It's coming from the beast. If you are Lunar Sabbath, you are going to find yourself rising in popularity. And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. So they pollute us. That is their aim. Our aim is to get out of their pollution. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. That is why their religion of Christianity is about eating swine's flesh. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances. This is their aim. This is what is happening in the end times before our eyes. Spiritually, we are being brought to profane the Shabbat. So when we see this, the changing of times is to throw out the end time keeping, to throw out the timekeeping, so the Sabbaths can be profaned. In the book of Daniel, when it tells you about the beast changing times and laws, we are in this time. This is what we are living before our very eyes. We are saying it almost every week. We do know. So please go and you can read this. Daniel 7:24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time, they will be given into his hand, unfortunately. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. In the end time, the Most High will rise up back his people to turn away from this deception. Okay? So, even in the book of Jubilees, you can also read it in chapter 6. It tells us about how in the end times, in Jubilees chapter 6, it tells us about in the end times that the children of Yasharal will depart from the truth, from the true way of the scriptures, and will be driven into disobeying the way of the Most High. And remember, these things we have done several times before, but when you see the Most High repeating these things, and I was asking, why is this being repeated? It is the Most High wanting your attention, your attention, your attention. Jubilees 6:35 to 38. Verse 17, for I know, and from henceforth will I declare it unto you, and it is not of my own devising, for the book is written before me, and on the heavenly tablets the division of days is ordained, lest they forget the feasts of the covenant, and walk according to the feasts of the Gentiles, after their error and after their ignorance. This we are telling you, the Gentiles are our enemies. We have to try to escape them. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon, how it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year 10 days too soon. This is the thing with the new moon calendar, the lunar calendar. Taking into account the 10 days of the moon and rationalizing it with the 364 days year. Because the book of the book of Enoch tells us that the days of the sun for the year are 6 days more than the days of the moon each year. In 5 years, it is over by 30 days. So in each year, it is 6 days. It also tells us about the division of the year. There are 4 days that are not given in the computation of the year. These 4 days are the 4 divisions of the year. The summer solstice, the winter solstice, the spring equinox, and the autumn equinox. Those 4 days are added to the 6 days of the sun to make it 10 extra days above the moon. Now with the lunar calendar, most do not know what to do with these 10 days. This had been our dilemma. That had been my dilemma for quite some time, until the Most High revealed it to me how this operates. Yes? And the new moon people make these observations, and it throws it all out. For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order, and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day a feast day. And they will confound all the days, the Kadesh with the unclean. This is that mixture again of the clean with the unclean. And the unclean day with the Kadesh. For they will go wrong as to the months, and Shabbats, and feasts, and Jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to you, that you may testify to them. For after your death your children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. This is the key to the Sabbath. The year must be 364 days only, nothing more, nothing less. Then you'll be able to get your 52 Sabbaths for the year. 7 days each week. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new months or new moons and seasons and Shabbats and festivals, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. They will go into all sorts of sin. Okay? So this is the Sabbath deception. But that is not all the way that they polluted us. The pollutions of Babylon. This is something that we have looked at several weeks. And after these things, I saw another Malach come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his splendor. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul ruach, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. We've always highlighted this to show you how dangerous Babylon is. Polluted, polluted, polluted. The habitation of devils, that is the dwelling place of demons and demonic spirits. The hold of every foul ruach, every single unclean spirit is held up there, is dwelling there. And it is a cage or a dwelling place where there are limitations. You are trapped in this cage of every unclean. Remember, we're talking about uncleanness and hateful bird. Those hateful people who despise his people, who hate his people, we are in this cage with them. That is why he said, come out of her, my people. When you wake up and realize who you are, to get out of this uncleanness, because we are in this uncleanness in the midst of Babylon, to get out of this uncleanness, we have to come out of her. Now, in the New Testament, it tells us that we have to repent of uncleanness. Uncleanness is one of the most underrated, undervalued contributors to our rejection from the Most High. I can tell you personally that the Most High has shown me many times uncleanness. Whenever I am not right before the Most High reveals it in uncleanness and shows me that you are unclean. So when I'm speaking this, I'm not just speaking this, picking out words, I'm speaking from experience. He reveals uncleanness to me, and then I feel so ashamed, striving to find out where the impurity is. Where is the impurity? Where am I lacking? So in showing me this, he is teaching me that our emphasis as believers has to be on uncleanness, whether physical or moral, spiritual, whatever uncleanness. Our emphasis has to be on that, because he is not calling out into his kingdom anyone that has spots or has blame. Remember, Kepha said in 2 Peter, knowing this, the promises that we have, what kind of men ought we to be in all holy conversation? We must be found without spot and blameless. So whenever there is blame, the Most High sometimes shows us, sometimes we are there and we don't know it. Sometimes he brings someone to speak to us for us to understand. That is why our eyes have to be open to spiritual things. So with me, almost everything that someone says to me, put it in my brain and start juggling it around. This is how I live, people. This is how I strive to keep myself from iniquity, from sin, from blindness. Everyone that speaks, ask me a question, juggling it around, matching it with something that was there before. Yes, that's the only good thing in my brain. I can't remember so many things. But when it comes to these spiritual things, it holds. Matching them and matching up to see what the Most High is saying to me spiritually. We have to do this, because we have to repent of our uncleanness and cleanse ourselves from uncleanness. Ephesians 5 verse 3. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becometh saints. This is the New Testament. These are things that people, they do not focus our attentions on. So we go through being a people who are, let me go there. We go back here. We are a people that are pure in our own eyes and yet not washed from our filthiness, because we do not know our filthiness, because we do not concentrate on filthiness. We do not concentrate on whether or not we are filthy. We concentrate on whether or not we are worshiping the Most High. We are talking to people about the Most High, whether or not we are well adorned in our whatever, in our garments, our holy garments, whether or not we are calling the name right, whether or not we are not concentrating on whether or not we have washed ourselves from our filthiness. Because that is our problem. That is our problem. Fornication, which is idolatry. Neither filthiness. So filthiness is not an Old Testament thing. Nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. You see how serious the way is? So many of us are in this joking thing. Because if you're like me, I like jokes. But then, when you come into the way of the Most High, you realize that joking around is against the way, is impurity, is against the way of the Most High. Nor foolish talking. Foolish talking is when you're talking foolishness, that nothing that is spiritual. Many times we come together as believers, we are talking frivolous things that has nothing to do with the way. Problems. For this ye know, that no whoremonger, nor unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater hath any inheritance in the kingdom of Hamashiach and of Alua. So no unclean person. This is why we say no filthiness, no uncleanness. And the Gentiles know this. So the Gentiles pollute us. And they give us false religion and all sorts of things to keep us polluted, so that we have no inheritance in the kingdom of Alua. 2 Corinthians 2, 12, 21. And lest when I come again, my Alua will humble me among you, and that I shall bewail many which have sinned already, and have not repented of the uncleanness, and fornication, and lasciviousness which they have committed. We have to repent from these things and walk in the way of righteousness. This is New Testament. We've done a teaching about uncleanness before. We have to do it again, it seems, to wake up our people, because uncleanness is something that we ignore. Yes? So, we're talking about food. The Bible aligns food with fornication. It aligns food with idolatry. And the importance of keeping ourselves from food pollution and fornication. Very strange how food is aligned with idolatry, with fornication. And it's not strange, because food is one of the idolatrous things that we use. We are addicted to certain foods. We can't do without certain foods. Food is actually what is causing us to sin. Greedy, going after dainties. And when we feed ourselves too much with food, then what happens? Our flesh is heightened, and then the spirit cannot have any way with us. So let's look at the importance of food, abstaining from food pollution and fornication. Acts 15, 28 to 29. And when you come out of the midst of Babylon, this has to be our emphasis. You come out of the midst of Babylon, you have to now ensure that you are keeping away from food pollution. Acts 15, 28 to 29. Now let's look at Acts 15, 20 to 21, because it has the Sabbath in it, and I want to include the Sabbath as well. Acts 15, 20 to 21. 19 to 21. Wherefore my sentence is, this was when they were speaking about the Gentiles. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which are from among the Gentiles are turned to Alua, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols, idolatry, and from fornication, which is sexual sins, and from things strangled, and from blood. So we have pollutions of idols, which is food sacrificed to idols, from things strangled, and from blood, food, and we have idolatry and fornication together. These are the most important things. So if we have the Gentiles, and Kepha, James, John were writing to the Gentiles, and the most important thing they could tell them to keep away from is from pollutions of idols, food sacrificed to idols, from fornication, sexual fornication, and from things strangled and from blood. If that was the most important thing, why isn't that being taught today? Why aren't we focusing on that? When we come out of her, we have to be focusing on that, or else we will be defiled. For Moses of old time hath in every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogue every Sabbath day. In other words, we don't even have to tell the Gentiles about the Sabbath, because every Sabbath Moses is read in the synagogues where the Gentiles are scattered. So because Moses is read, the law will be read, and the law of the Sabbath will also be read on the Sabbath day. So these are the most important things for the Gentiles: pollutions of idols, fornication, things strangled, and from blood, and from the Sabbath day. And these are the three things that we have focused on today. 1 Corinthians 6, 12 to 20. Did we look at this before? 1 Corinthians 6, 12 to 20. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. Meats for the belly, and the belly for meats, but Alua shall destroy both it and them. Now the body is not for fornication, but for Yahuwah, and Yahuwah for the body. Again, there is this fornication being mixed with food. And Alua hath both raised up the master, and will also raise up us by his own power. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them the members of an harlot? Alua forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the master is one ruach. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of Rakakadosh, which is in you, which ye have of Alua, and ye are not your own? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore exalt Alua in your body and in your ruach, which are Aluas, which actually hereby means do not pollute your body, the temple, and do not pollute your ruach. Whether flesh or ruach, it is not to be polluted. Flee fornication, flee idolatry, flee sexual sins, because your body is the temple of the Most High. So the consequences of spiritual fornication is given in the book of Wisdom, chapter 14, idolatry. And the reason we focus on this idolatry is because some people refuse to let go of this idolatry of JC, Jesus Christ. When we come to them and we tell them, the Most High is not God, he's not the Lord, our Messiah is not JC. The usual thing, we all worship the same God. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a name. It's all in a name, whatever, whatever. Wisdom 4 verse 8 is speaking about this idolatry. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well as it, as he that made it. He because he made it, and it because being corruptible, it was called Elohim. For the unholy and his unholiness are both alike hateful unto Eloah. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation. So there shall be a visitation upon JC, G-O-D, the L-O-R-D. Because in the creature of Eloah they are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men and a snare to the feet of the wise. These are stumbling blocks, because with these names come doctrine. With these names come pollution. With these names come uncleanness, making them stumbling blocks to the souls of men and a snare also to men, because when they trap them, Proverbs chapter 7 tells you when this woman traps them, it is for their life. This snare is in Proverbs chapter 7, the Christian church. You can go and read it. That is the stumbling block and the snare to the feet of the unwise. This is Proverbs chapter 7 right here. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. So with JC, it is spiritual fornication. That is why almost everyone that calls on the name of JC, they do not pursue pure righteousness. I want you to examine it. Pure righteousness, walking in obedience to the Messiah, in obedience to his Torah. How many of them truly follow that righteousness? They may say they do, but they truly cannot, because it is the beginning of spiritual fornication. There is no pure righteousness in that. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vain esteem of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning. Now this image of Jesus Christ that they gave us, it is coming from a father who gave us the image of his son, and gave the world the image of the Son to worship as the Messiah, and has become synonymous with the worship of the Most High. Straight plain idolatry. Idolatry to the key. Yahusha is Yahuwah, Jesus is God. Idolatry. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he hath made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as Eloah, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus, in process of time, an ungodly or an unrighteous custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. It is by the commandments of kings that we got the religion called Christianity. Christianity was given to us with the Bible and the sword by the people who they call, what they call them again? The people who, the missionaries, what do they call them? When they go on the ship, they go to the different countries with the priests, and they establish their religion wherever they go by the commandments of kings, and those who don't worship might find themselves being killed. Whom men could not honor in presence, because they dwelt afar off, they took the counterfeit of his visage. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if they were present. That's this image of JC right there. Calling all Christians, all those who continue to speak about this JC, this Jesus Christ image. Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. And with the Jesus Christ, it is not an artificer, it is a photographer. I don't know if it means artificer. The photographer, not what they call him now, the painter. Yes, I'm talking about photographer. The painter, because the painter painted the image. I don't know if artificer means painter, probably. He painted the image of this JC, and the image has been so alluring to people that people have kept these images in their homes to this very day, worshipping this image of JC. For he, peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion. And so the multitude, allured by the favor of the work, took him now for Elohim, which a little before was but honored. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. Let me say this again. And this was an occasion to deceive the world. For men serving either calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Did ascribe unto JC the incommunicable name. Yahusha is Yahuwah, but they say Jesus is God. Yes? And of course, this was done in the time of Moses and Aaron, when they made the golden calf, and they said about the calves, this is Yahuwah that brought you forth out of the land of Yasharal, and the northern kingdom of Yasharal continued to do so by worshipping the golden calves as Yahuwah. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of Allah, but whereas they lived in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used ceremonies, or made revelings of strange rites, Christmas, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery. So that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation, corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of sex today, gender as they call it, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness. This is all that is the byproduct of Christianity. For the worshippers of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. So what is it saying? The worshipping of idols, worshipping of JC, is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil. That is why the evil prevails on the earth today, because the earth is ruled under the influence of Christianity. For either they were mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. Oh, Christianity again. Boy, hey. They be mad when they be merry, or they prophesy lies. So many Christians prophesying lies today. Or they live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves. For insomuch as their trust is in idols, which have no life, though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Christianity. They have no fear of Yahuwah. No fear whatsoever. They look not to be hurt. For us, for me, when I'm doing anything, and if I'm off on anything, man, I worry about what might happen to me. The Christians will do all sorts of things, and they look not to be hurt. Howbeit for both causes shall they be justly punished. So their punishment is coming, both because they thought not well of Alua, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness. Wow. So as a result of this, 2 Baruch 67, as a result of this, we must be severed from other people, because while we are in captivity, the idols of the Gentiles are happy. While we are in captivity, the idols of the Gentiles are happy. 2 Baruch 67 verse 1. And the 11th black waters you have seen. That is the disaster which has befallen Zion now. Do you think there is no mourning among the Malachim before Yahuwah the Mighty One, that Zion is delivered up in this way? Behold, the nations rejoice in their hearts, and the multitudes are before their idols, and say, she who has trodden others down for such a long time has been trodden down, and she who has subjugated has been subjugated. So the nations are celebrating our demise. And the multitudes are before their idols, before their JC, etc. Do you think that Yahuwah the Most High rejoices in these things, or that his name has been magnified? In other words, do you think the Most High is exalted when we are in captivity, when we are looked on as the scum of the earth and we blaspheme his name? But how will it be his righteous judgment? So these things have to come upon us because his judgment has to go through. But after these things, those scattered among the nations will be taken hold of by tribulations and live in shame in every place. That's what's happening to us. For so far as Zion has been delivered up and Jerusalem laid waste, the idols in the cities of the nations are happy. This is what we're looking for. As long as we are in captivity, the idols in the cities of the nations are happy. Your JC is a happy idol because they boast that there is power in JC's name. They boast everything about Jesus. We've seen miracles in JC's name, not understanding that the Most High will send strong delusion for those who believe a lie. Not knowing that the thing that is evil and wrong, the Most High will make it appear to be right if you do not actually seek out the truth. So when we come to you with the name Yahusha, when we come to you with the name saying that your JC is the wrong name, the LOD and GOD, if you don't listen to us, yes, JC will continue to look so great. Because as long as Zion has been delivered up and Jerusalem laid waste, the idols of the Gentiles in the cities of the nations are happy. And the flavor of the smoke of the incense of the righteousness of the Torah has been extinguished everywhere in the region of Zion. Behold, the smoke of impiety is there. So we will continue to be in unrighteousness, and JC will prevail. Happy. But the king of Babylon will arise, the one who now has destroyed Babylon, and he will boast over the people and speak haughtily. The one who has destroyed Zion, rather. And he will boast over the people and speak haughtily in his heart before Yahuwah the Most High. And he too will finally fall. These are those black waters, this king of Babylon, United States, that have destroyed the set-apart people of the Most High. Today, they are those who are leading, and these are the people now who are boasting. Today we have Trump coming in, and we see him boasting over the people and speaking haughtily in his heart. So we spoke about Babylon's religious pollution, which is Christianity. You can go to Revelation 2 verses 12 to 29. We are going to go there to show how Babylon's religious pollution with Christianity is revealed to us in a very sneaky, I won't say sneaky, in a very Revelation 2, covert, hidden way. To the assembly in Pergamum. Last week we looked at Philadelphia. To the assembly in Pergamum. And to the Malach of the assembly in Pergamum write, These things saith he which hath the sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith. Holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antiochus was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things there, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cause a stumbling block before the children of Yasharal, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. This assembly is casting a stumbling block before the children of Yasharal with food, luring them to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit what? Fornication. Fornication can be sexual. It can also be idolatry. This is the Christian church. So hast thou them also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate, and we have done this sometime before. Nicolaitans, the word Nico and Laitans, one of them means power over. Both word Nicolaitans together, when you look at the Greek, means power over the people. That is Christianity, which seeks to have power over the people through their top-down structure that is controlled through the papacy and through the different church denominations. So the Most High hates your Nicolaitan system. Repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will fight against thee with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Ruach said unto the assemblies. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the hidden manna, food again. And will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth, saving he that received it, a new name. That is why we don't fuss over the exact pronunciation of the name, because we are going to be given a new name. So you're going to have the exact pronunciation then. At the end of the time comes, that is going to mean nothing. So let's continue with Christianity in the assembly in Thyatira. And until the angel or the Marlock of the assembly in Thyatira write, These things saith the son of Alua, who hath his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. I know thy works, and charity, and service, and faith, and thy patience, and thy works, and the last to be more than the first. This seems to be a perfect believer. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols, food, and fornication again. This is going to be the hallmark of the end times, people. Food and fornication together. These are what we have to escape. This is Christianity. It suffers the woman who call themselves prophets to teach. This is what is happening. If you go online, there are no shortages of people who call themselves Christian prophetesses who are teaching. So this woman also can be speaking of a religious order, the assembly itself. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. This is the time of great tribulation. We looked at Philadelphia last week, or was it the week before? And we looked at the fact that Philadelphia is the assembly through which the Messiah is going to leave an open door. An open door. A door of escape. But this church, this assembly, that you can call it church because this is mainly the Christian church, this assembly of today will be cast into great tribulation, except she repents. So all those suffering women to teach,
What I do?
all of those suffering women to teach, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols, the food that we eat is going to be very, very important. So Christianity, for example, is telling you can eat anything. You can eat anything at all. Just bless it, and it's good. And I will kill her children with death. And all the assembly shall know that I am he which searcheth the reins and hearts, and I will give unto every one of you according to your works. So we have to be careful as to what we do. But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan as they speak, I will put upon you none other burden. Known the depths of Satan. How many times have we said here that Christianity is the prized religion of Satan? It's Christianity right here, between Pergamos and Thyatira. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, even as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Ruach saith unto the assemblies. Come out of her, my people. So the pollution of the fourth beast, again, fornication. The fourth beast has come. The fourth beast is giving us the lunar Sabbath. The fourth beast is also giving us the mark of the beast. This is fornication. This is polluting and defiling our temple. Remember, if any man defile the temple of Alua, him shall Alua destroy. We have to be careful. We have to be very, very careful. Revelation 14, verse 6 to 13. And I saw another Malach fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting good news to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear Alua, and give splendor to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made heaven and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of the waters. Worship him that made heaven and earth. Do not worship any other being. Worship Yahuwah our Alua, him only. Hamashiach said it in John 4, that we must only worship Alua, and him only shall we serve. And there followed another Malach, saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. So we are here at this. This is our time now. This is our time. Babylon is fallen, is fallen. And that great city, United States, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third Malach followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Aluah, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the set apart angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Aluah and the faith of Aluah. So this is fornication. She made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Remember, no fornicator shall inherit the kingdom. Yes? And the mark of the beast is the pollution, the uncleanness that they gave us and are giving us for participating by taking that thing in our arm. But we must understand that the pollution also is spiritual when they come with the number of his name. We're going to get a physical number, yes, but it will not have anything to do physically with our bodies. But we are going to profane ourselves spiritually when we sign ourselves over to Satan by taking that number that is unique to us, that will tie us to Satan's beast system. These are the pollutions of the Gentiles. The mark of the beast, that thing in the arm, the pollution of the Gentiles. So let's look at another pollution of the fourth beast. The pollution of the fourth beast, abstaining from meat. So we have meats that are polluted, that will pollute us. Another pollution is abstaining from meat. 1 Timothy 4, starting at verse 1. Now the Ruach speaketh expressly that in the latter times, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirit and doctrines of devils, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which Aluah hath created to be received, with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. For every creature of Aluah is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified by the word of Aluah and prayer. What are they talking about? What is happening today that they are talking about this abstaining from meats? The pollution of the fourth beast, abstaining from meat. This is BG, Mr. BG, at work. The pollution of the fourth beast. Mr. BG said, I do think all rich countries should move to 100% synthetic beef. They are creating meats as substitute for the meats that the Most High created for us to consume. Let's go back on 3. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which Aluah hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. These are the truth, the beef, and the etc. that we will be eventually commanded not to eat, but to eat synthetic meats. All right? Mr. BG said, expecting people to stop eating meat or consumers to cut back won't be enough to fix climate change. Bill Gates has publicly stated that he believes asking people to completely stop eating meat is not the most effective way to combat climate change. Instead, advocating for the development and adoption of alternative protein sources like plant-based meat as a more realistic solution to reduce the environmental impact of meat consumption. He has invested in companies producing these alternatives like Beyond Meat and Impossible Food. So what he's saying, plant-based meats, and not only plant-based meats, he's also advocating bugs, meat made from bugs, as alternatives. And guess what they are talking about with climate change? They are actually saying that this climate change, it is the burping of the animals. I want you to listen to this. I was always wondering, what does these animals have to do with climate change? Would you believe? And somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He's talking about the burping of the animals that are contributing to gas emissions. Can you imagine this? Now, if we believe this, we are the dumbest people in the whole world. Dumb, dumb, dumb. That animals burping is dangerous to this world. I won't even bother. Let me continue. So because of these abominable things that these people are doing, there is a judgment on Babylon. We looked at it the last time. Let's look at it again. Judgment on Babylon. Jeremiah 50 verses 1 to 9. The word that Yahuwah spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard, publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Baal is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. And again, Bel or Baal, the Lord is the mighty one of Babylon. That is why they gave us the Lord in Christianity, because the Lord is the foundation. Bel or Baal is the foundation on which Babylon is built. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. In those days and in that time, saith Yahuwah, the children of Yasharal shall come, they and the children of Yehuda together, going and weeping, they shall go and seek Yahuwah their Alua. This is saying, people, in the end times, our people are going to go and seek Yahuwah for themselves. Again, we keep saying this, because people are thinking and saying that in the end time, the Most High is going to send for his people. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, Come, 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 and let us join ourselves to Yahuwah in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. My people hath been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill and have forgotten their resting place. They have forgotten Zion. Instead, they are thinking of being raptured away. All that found them have devoured them. Sow a seed. Donate here, donate there. And their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahuwah, the habitation of justice, even Yahuwah, the hope of their fathers. Remove out of the midst of Babylon, and go forth out of the land of the Chaldeans, and be as the he-goats before the flocks. For I will raise and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain. So we have to remove ourselves, come out of her, because the Most High is bringing people against her. We have to do the moving, we have to go do the going, we have to do the fleeing. Yeah? So, leaving the captivity, we must come out of her. We must come out of her. Leaving the captivity. Remember, in the captivity, we are in the pollution of the Gentiles. We have to come out of the pollution and strive to get rid of the filthiness of the Gentiles. And by doing so, we must come out of her. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from Shamayim saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Again, you hear it is that voluntary thing. Come out! As my mother would say when she was running us, the children, out of the house when we were giving trouble. Come out! Come out of her, my people. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Allah hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which he hath filled, fill to her double. So if we remain in the midst of her, we have been punished under Babylon, but yet still the Most High has double to give Babylon. And after he gives double Babylon, if we remain among Babylon, we will be partaking of that double that Babylon has been given. So we have suffered under Babylon, the single. Then Babylon is going to be given the double. And if we remain in the midst of her, we will partake of the double. Not nice at all. So coming out of the captivity, we must separate from the filth of the heathen. Let's look at Ezra coming out of the captivity, Ezra 6, verses 19 to 22. Ezra 6, 19 to 22. And the children of the captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the first month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together. All of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity and for their brethren, the priests, and for themselves. So here's the importance of being pure. Coming out of the captivity, being pure. And the children of Yasharal, which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek Yahuwah Allah of Yasharal did eat. So if we are seeking Yahuwah, we have to take ourselves out of filthiness. We, the children who are coming out of captivity. And kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy, for Yahuwah had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of Allah, the Elohim of Yasharal. The Most High will strengthen even our enemies to help us. So we must be separate and separate ourselves from them. Ezra 9, 5 to 15. Ezra 9, did I say? 5 to 15. And at the evening sacrifice I arose up from my heaviness, and having rent my garment and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto Yahuwah my Allah, and said, O my Allah, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my Allah, for our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespass is grown up unto the heavens. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the land, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face as it is this day. And now for a little space favor hath been showed from Yahuwah our Allah, to leave us a remnant to escape. This is the open door. For a little time, the Most High had shown us his favor to leave us a remnant, to leave us an open door to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our Allah may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. For we were bondmen, yet our Allah hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a reviving, to set up the house of our Allah, and to repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem. And now, O our Allah, what shall we say after this? For we have forsaken thy commandments. which thou hast commanded by thy servants the prophets, saying, The land unto which ye go to possess it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the lands, with their abominations, which have filled it from one end to another with their uncleanness. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. Uncleanness, mixed race as they call it, uncleanness. And after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our Allah, hast punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and hast given us such deliverance as this, should we again break thy commandments, and join in affinity with the people of these abominations? We have to separate ourselves from the impure, from the filthiness of the heathen. The filthiness of the heathen is given to us by the children of Edom today. Yes? Marry whomever you want to marry. It doesn't matter. Race doesn't matter. Wouldest not thou be angry with us? The Most High will be angry with us, till thou hast consumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping. So if you come amongst the Most High, in the midst of the Most High, with this mixed marriage thing, the Most High might even consume us, so that there be not a remnant for escaping. Uncleanness, people. O Yahuwah Alua of Yasharal, thou art righteous, for we remain yet escaped as it is this day. Behold, we are before thee in our trespasses, for we cannot stand before ye because of this. If we are in this transgression, we will not be able to stand before the Most High. All right? And so we end. Ask for the old path, which is the good way. This is what we should be doing today. This is what we should be doing today. Right now, we have awakened. Blindness in part has happened to Yasharal. We have awakened as to who we are. We have awakened as to the evil of Babylon, the evil of this world, the wickedness of this world. We have awakened to all sorts of things. But guess what? We now have to wake up and go back to the beginning. Seek back to where our people were before they went into captivity in Babylon. We have to ask back for the old path, which is the good way, and to walk in it. Jeremiah 6, verses 9 to 21. Go back to the old path, which is the good way. Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, they shall truly glean. Oh man, I'm tongue twisting today. Thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, they shall truly glean the remnant of Yasharal as a vine. Turn back thy hand as a grape gatherer into the baskets. Of course, this was before our people were sent into captivity. But we can know what pleases the Most High to see what we have to go back to see what we have to undo. To whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of Yahuwah is unto them a reproach, they have no delight in it. Therefore I am full of the fury of Yahuwah. I am weary with holding in. I will pour it out upon the children abroad, and upon the assembly of young men together. For even the husband with the wife shall be taken, the age with him that is full of days. And their houses shall be turned unto others, with their fields and wives together. For I will stretch out my hand upon the inhabitants of the land, saith Yahuwah. For from the least of them even unto the greatest of them, everyone is given to covetousness. So we have to ensure now that we get out of covetousness. And from the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. We have to ensure we do not deal falsely. They have healed also the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, Peace, peace, when there is no peace. We have to speak about the times that we are in. It's not time for peace, peace. Yes? Not time for peace, peace. It is the end time. Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? Nay, they were not at all ashamed, neither could they blush. Therefore they shall fall among them that fall. At the time that I visit them, they shall be cast down, saith Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah. Here we go. Here's what we want to say. Stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. The time now is for us to walk in the old path, which is the good way. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said, we will not hearken. So these are people who they sent, people like us, to tell them the way of truth, to show them. And they said, yeah, we don't want to hear anything what you have to say. Therefore, hear ye nations, and know, O congregation that is among them. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words, nor to my law, but rejected it. So what do we need to do today? We have to hearken to his words, we have to hearken to his laws and accept it, or else he will bring evil upon the fruit of our thoughts. And the fruit of our thoughts means what come out of what we are thinking, which means we will be deceived. We will be allowed to believe a lie. To what purpose cometh there to me incense from Sheba, and the sweet cane from a far country? Your burnt offerings are not acceptable, nor your sacrifices sweet unto me. So whatever we offer unto the Most High will be abominable unto him. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and the sons together shall fall upon them. The neighbor and his friend shall perish. This is before the destruction of Babylon. This is what is going to happen. This is what happened before we were sent into Babylon. But this is the reverse is going to happen in the end. The Most High will put a stumbling block before us because we reject his way. We reject his laws. We reject going back to the old path, which is the good way. So when we come out of Babylon and we are assembled together, this is what we are tasked to do. To find the old path, which is the good way, and to walk therein. Right? Only hope this was edifying to someone today. The pollution of the Gentiles, that the Gentiles have polluted us knowingly. They have deliberately polluted us, and we saw what happens when we are polluted and the danger of being polluted, showing that the kingdom is nowhere ours, but this is not preached or taught to us of uncleanness and cleanliness, and getting out of the filthiness of the heathen is so important. We were not taught that, and so we grow in filthiness, thinking that we are pure, not being healed from our filthiness, not knowing that we are going into the Most High, seeking his kingdom in our filth. The Most High has shown me so much the importance of this. So much he has shown me this. And it is not taught. Maybe that's why he's bringing it up again. It is very, very important we come out of the filth of Babylon, out of the filth of the Gentiles, so that we can inherit his kingdom. Because our body is the temple of the Most High. If any man defile the temple of Alua, him shall Alua destroy, because the temple is Kadosh, which temple you are. Do not allow your temple to be defiled. And if it is defiled unknowingly, we still are guilty of it. Still guilty of our iniquity, even though we do not know where we are defiled. So we have to strive after getting out of this impurity. All right, shalom, everyone. Don't know if there are any questions, any comments on YouTube. Then we will go to the Zoom. If you have any questions, please put them there as well. Let me go to YouTube and see if there's anything there. All right. The pollution of the Gentiles. Let me go to analytics. Let me go to the live. Oh, how do I get on here? Live. What's happening? Isn't it the one that is... Oh, I need to come out of the studio. Well, I'm happy that I got through this. I wasn't feeling 100% going through this at all. All right, so the pollutions of the Gentiles. Let's see what's going on. 59 watching. Great. This thing always takes a time. Can you please like, please? That I got through this. I wasn't feeling. Can you please like, please, if you like? Only 32 likes. Unless people did not like it. So as we wait for the YouTube chat to come up, we can go to the chat that is the Zoom chat. Papa. Oh, what question did they have on YouTube? Acts 21:39. Acts 21:39. Let me see what question.
It was about Shaul being a Gentile.
Shaul being a Gentile. Oh. So. Oh, they are saying that Shaul is a Gentile. Is it?
Correct.
But tell me something now. How many people? It is evident today. The United States of Babylon. We have people who are citizens of the United States and citizens of other countries. Look how many people I know who were born in Jamaica, and they are citizens of the United States. Look how many people we see are born in the United States and have gone and taken dual citizenship by being citizens of Jamaica as well. Yes? That's what happened to Shaul. So you can be, for example, a Jamaican that is born in the United States, and this is evident in sports as well. So, for example, when Jamaica went to the World Cup, Football World Cup, there were about 5 or so British men who were playing for Jamaica. These men were born in England, but their parents were Jamaicans. So what they did, they got Jamaican passports, because they are Jamaicans and they qualified through their parents, and they got dual citizenship. And so even though living in England, playing for English clubs, they play for Jamaica in the World Cup. It's a similar thing with Shaul. Acts 22:3. I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel. So when he was young, he was brought to Judah to learn the Torah. We have to understand back in those days how our people were. In the book of Acts 2, it tells us that there were Jews that were scattered in every nation under heaven. What did they do? Every year they came back and they kept the Passover. So they kept the culture even though they spoke the language. And they said, and we hear every man speaking in our own language. So they spoke the languages of the nations from where they were. and this you have to go to Acts 2. They spoke the languages of the nations from which they were, but they identified themselves as Jews, as Yahudim. Because Yahudim is not about a country. Being a Roman is a country. Being a Yahudim is a nation. Simple. Anyway.
Shalom.
Yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, but Shaul make it clear, make it clear.
Yes.
In Romans chapter 11, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
If they read that, they would not say that Shaul is a Gentile. He was an Israelite sent to the Gentile mission.
Yes, I forgot that. I forgot that one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, man, that cut straight in, man.
And in Philippians 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
When he said, if he was to boast, I'm a Hebrew of the Hebrews, you know, from the tribe of Benjamin. You know, sometimes some people, you know, we sometimes, boy,
stubborn.
I'm telling you. So Michael said, master means more like overseer or supreme leader. Think slavery times. It can also mean ruler or boss, the one in charge. Exactly. So Zoe asked, which translation is better to read? John 3:13. As I have told persons, I use the King James Version. But other translations are there to back up in case I want clarity. But I do not use the other translations because they are new. Everything that is new is corrupted because it's coming through the fourth beast. The spirit of anti-Messiah is ruling this age. If you are getting anything, try to get it from before this age. Trust me on that. Everything is polluted. Everything. I suggest don't know. Pardon?
Shalom.
Yeah, shalom.
How trustworthy is the Dead Sea Scroll?
The Dead Sea Scrolls. Well, it is the oldest manuscript that they have actually found. They have tested it against the Masoretic text from where we get the King James Version, and they find that it's very close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also a lot, when I say a minor contradiction within the kingdom pertaining to the Dead Sea Scroll.
Yeah.
Because the Dead Sea Scroll kind of read a little more different from all the King James that I read.
Okay.
You know, because just as we are saying, in Jeremiah 8 verse 8, the line when they describe them.
Yes.
You know, the Dead Sea Scroll, I make it clear that is what happened.
Okay.
In the King James Version.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what happens with the different versions. Someone says I have a question. How about the fact that we keep Sabbath according to the Edomite 7-day calendar? I don't keep Sabbath according to the Edomite 7-day calendar. I don't keep Sabbath according to the Edomite 7-day calendar. The 7th day has not changed from creation. The Edomites built their calendar around this 7th day. This is what we have to understand. We did not build our 7th day around the Edomites' calendar. The Edomites built their calendar around the 7 days. Because in over 100 ancient and modern languages, the word for the 7th day, Saturday, is Sabbath, Sabbato, Sabti, Sabbado, Sabbath, some Sabbath, which shows that from ancient times, the very same day we call Saturday was referred to as the Sabbath. And as we have shown in the record of the Romans during the wars with the Jews, the Yahudim, that Saturn's day, which is what they call Saturday, is the day that the Jews kept as the holy day. So we don't keep, if you keep it, I don't. We don't keep the Saturday according to their calendar. We keep the Saturday because we trust the Most High and believe in Him when He says it will not and does not change. He said in Jeremiah 31:35-36, He swore that the ordinances of the sun and the moon and the stars by night will never change. And the core base of the word Sabbath is a word that means to swear. So the Most High giving us the Sabbath is Him saying, I swear that this day will not change. And I believe Him. Yes? I believe Him. So I don't know about you. I believe the Most High. Yeah. So that is what I keep. I don't keep the thing. What has happened? It is the Lunar Sabbath people have scared you. They have scared you. And they come. Because they have to have a rallying point for their Sabbath. So they come. Oh, you're keeping Saturn's day. Dumb. Every day that they gave us his name after an idol. So, and they say, oh, you're keeping the days after the Gregorian calendar. No, I'm not. The week just has not changed. We keep the new moon just like you. The moon defines the feast, and we keep the feast based on the moon. But the moon does not define our year. Yes? The moon does not define our year. And the moon does not define our weeks. Simple. That's just the difference. So we don't keep the Gregorian calendar. The week has never changed. The Most High said it, and I believe it. In the ancient days, didn't they only go by first day or all the way to the seventh day? I thought there was no names. Just humbly asking. Yes, they had the first day to the seventh day and the seventh day, which is the Sabbath. So it was only the seventh day that had a name. Only the seventh day that had a name. No other day had a name. But the Gentiles came and they gave the name to their different, they gave the name to their different days. So we can say today we are keeping the Sabbath, but they are attaching the days of the Gentiles to it and saying it is Saturn's day. To us, it's the seventh day. It is the Sabbath, not Saturn's day, but they call it Saturn's day, so yeah. Someone says, I don't understand from things strangled. Let me get this thing on. Things strangled. Things strangled there are things that are choked. So it's actually, as far as I understand, let me get the meaning here. Strangled here is the word pniktos, which means throttled, that is an animal choked to death, not bled. So this, of course, again, is a way of killing the animals, choking the animals to death. And when you do that, the blood does not flow out of the animals. So the blood, the meat is going to be actually polluted with the blood that has not bled out of the animals. Yeah? All right. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, somebody put it up. All right. All right, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but if the lunar Sabbath keeper them would have read First Samuel 21 verse 3, as you already alluded in your presentation pertaining to the lunar Sabbath.
Oh yes.
If they read that, they would have realized that the Sabbath fall on the third day of the month.
Yeah. Was it
Because
third or
day. It was
third or the
it
sixth
was
day? One
3
of
day
them.
that it was the third day that David and the man them went to the priest, and it all well known that every Saturday the priest changes showbread.
Yeah. Yeah, but
so that would
yeah, but they had come out 3 days before. So the 3 day for the 3 day was 6 days. It was 6 days.
Yeah.
So the Sabbath was on the 6th, and they say if the Sabbath has to be on the 8th.
Yeah.
So we have a teaching about that on our website, and that totally disproves the lunar Sabbath by showing you that the Sabbath between David and Jonathan during that time fell on the 6th day of the month, not the 8th day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then it'll be really confusing because you work with somebody, and although you can ask the boss for the Saturday, you can ask the boss for the Saturday, and it will give you.
Yes.
But you go to the boss and say, boy, boss, this month is Saturday, so I ask you for Saturday this month. The next month you go to the boss again and say, you know what Monday I ask you for?
Yes.
The other month you go to the boss and say, you know what I choose I ask you for? You're confusing that, brother.
Yes.
That is pure confusion. Pure confusion, and that really threw me off completely.
Yes.
That really threw me off Lunar Sabbath completely, brother Kaza.
Yes. So
that confusion?
It is confusion. There's no consistency. Ah. All right. What do you think about the Septuagint? I'm not into all of those things. Trust me. I use the King James Version as the core, and it says precept upon precept, line upon line. I don't dig into those things, really. I don't think of myself as a scholar. I don't have time to that. The Dead Sea Scrolls, where can it be? I don't know anything about that Dead Sea Scrolls. The sun is the greater light, the moon is the lesser light. Exactly. So they want to now take the lesser light and make it king over the greater light. God the Seer should be on the download page, but there is something wrong with it. You can go in the search and put it in, and it should come up. There is something that is hiding some of the books that are there. I'll have to do some work on it. Enoch is also there. You can just put them in the search and they should turn up. So let me see if there's anything here on YouTube. If the camel is unclean, why do people eat it? Because people have no fear of Yahuwah, and people are just greedy, going according to their belly, or deceived, thinking that the Bible is telling you can eat anything. All right. All praises to the Most High, Lorraine. I praise the Most High for leading me to this ministry. Everything He teaches isn't always pleasing, but it's the truth. And the Word sets a standard of being set apart and being perfected. All praises. So I will not read from the positive comments. Yeah, because don't want to be exalting ourselves too much. All right. 1 John 2:18 is today. 1 John 2:18. is today. Let me just see what that is. Little children, it is the last time, and as you have heard that anti-Mashiach shall come, even now are there many anti-Mashiach, whereby ye know that it is the last time. That's it. That's it. On anything they changed or say, always believe the opposite. If they are lying about who the people of the Most High are, they will lie about the location, places, time, etc. The book of Jubilees makes clear the true year and days. The beast system is worldwide and very powerful. The prophet Daniel warned us true believers about this end time prophecy. We now can understand why certain books were removed from the scriptures. The beast system is doing things in a way to make it hard to survive, and they are putting things in a way where it will be hard to not worship the system. Exactly. Exactly. When they come with that number of the beast, I want to speak to people here. I want to speak to every... You see, when that number of the beast comes, that is when the world is going to be snared. Because people are so used to... for example, we say, flee out of the midst of Babylon. Come out of her, my people. Give up on this system. Give up on this world. What do you think we are doing? We are giving a precursor for you to be able to resist the beast. Because if you come out from her and you seek after removing yourself from the pollution of the Gentiles, then you will be eating natural food. You will be doing things differently from you do in Babylon. You will be guided into a way that is different from Babylon. Therefore, you will not need Babylon's number, nor his mark. But when you remain in Babylon, saying, oh, it's not time to go as yet. Oh, Brother Kazak is speaking, it's not time to go on. And you stay in Babylon, not knowing that Babylon is like a drug that you need to come off of. And you stay in Babylon, partaking, waiting until the last moment. Then you jump ship if you can. When the man comes with the number of his name, what do you think is going to happen? People are going to start doubting and say, well, you know, Kazakh, they're talking about this thing, mark of the beast and number of his name. That's not it. The number of his name is, and you will come up with something. Somebody who wants to stay in Babylon will come up with something and say, Kazakh is wrong. This is the number of his name. And give you something is the number. And so you grab that United Nations originated number that your government is giving you and take it and smear yourself. Yes? The number is coming, people. And you cannot participate in Babylon system without you have the number or the mark of the beast. Yes? Come out of her, my people. Is chicken clean to eat? That is debatable. That is debatable. Because some people believe so, some believe not. I do believe that it is clean. Some people say it's not. I am not going to argue with people and say it is or it is not. I don't believe it is clean. I don't believe it is unclean. Looking at the attributes of the chicken and looking at the attributes of other birds, looking at where it came from, the problem with chicken is that it is highly hybridized. That is probably the only thing, but you have hybrids in other animals as well. What do you do? Yes? For me, I have found it very, very so much more comfortable to not eat any of those things. Because even though you hear me say, I believe chicken is clean, I don't eat it. Not that I don't eat it, but I don't eat it. Meaning, I don't consume it. And it is not because I don't believe it can be eaten. It is because I prefer to eat vegetables and fish. because of the pollution of the Gentiles. That's it. Because of the pollution of the Gentiles. All right. Yes, chicken is clean according to scriptures, Leviticus chapter 11. Yes, you have to stay away from meat that are bottom feeders, catfish, crabs, shrimp. How can we send benevolence to just a word? To just a word. Benevolence. I don't understand those big words. I assume that means a donation. I will put the donation link in the chat. Although we're having some problems with it at the moment. And of course, it requires a password. That is the password there. All right. All right. Where were we? Knowing the true names of the Father and Son is a blessing, and understanding Scripture pure simcha. All right. Thank you for your interest, People Station. Always feel honored when people go the extra mile to offer something unto us. Shalom. That is so true about them giving us the Father's Son, the Son of a Father, but it has nothing to do with Yahuwah, but all to do with the false Messiah, JC. Hey, that just hit me. Yeah. That's right, brother. That goes along with their Catholic heathen Babylonian words like lucky, luck, nice, hello. He will take their heathen practices, words, and sounds of our mouth. All right. Do you use a VPN? No, I do not. I do not. Pork, the other white meat. Hey, that's a very good one. That's how they normalize pork and advertise it. Oh, the other white meat. Oh, pork is junk. Pork is abomination. Facts, Constantine, Cesar Borgia. Christianity has nothing to do with the Most High. Of course, it has all to do with Hasatan. It is the religion of the devil. Regarding meat, chicken eat their own poop. Would they also be considered unclean? I don't know. I don't know. Could you explain more on how 1 Timothy 4, 1-4 has to do with Bill Gates' alternative meats? I'm not understanding the correlation. Because 1 Timothy 1-4 is abstaining from meats that the Most High has created. Let me get it. 1 Timothy 4, 1. 1 Timothy, where is it? Oh, I can't find it. 1 Timothy 4. All right, here's the part here. All right, here's the part. No, Alexia. Here is it. Forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which Allah hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. These meats are those that are in the Torah in Leviticus 11 that are clean. But Bill Gates is now saying that we must not eat these meats because the burp from these animals are causing global warming. You understand? For every creature of Alua is good. Of Alua, they are planning and postulating that we use plant-based and bug-based protein as replacement for meat. So I only hope you understand that. So it says, let me continue. Eat organic pasteurized food from family-owned farms, not from government farms. That's it. Also stay away from fish without scales, of course. We can't thank Allah for clean and fake food. That's what an abomination. Of course, we are here eating the fake food and asking the Most High to barak it. Yeah. All right. Tell us more about the creature. My son said the creature is in us. I debate to him. Can you explain? What about the creature? Are you speaking about 1 Timothy 4? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know if you're speaking about 1 Timothy 4. Well, if it is 1 Timothy 4, verse 4, for every creature, the word creature here, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but the word creature here is ktisma, which is an original formation. Concretely, that is product created thing. So the creature is the created thing. So I don't know if that is what you're talking about. All right, thanks that you got the message, Ingrid. All right. All right, all right. What kind of creature? Don't get twisted. Mavis, don't get twisted with the word that we call creature. When you hear creature, you are thinking of some being that is weird, like an animal, like a beast or something out of a horror movie. That's not what it means. Creature actually just means creation. It comes from creation, and it actually means created thing. So man would be a creature. Dog would be a creature. A cat would be a creature. Even a butterfly would be a creature, a created thing. Yes? So it's not speaking about any demonic looking creature. All right? All right. All praises to the Most High for that. And see that we have all the questions answered in the YouTube. And so we are going to say shalom because it is now 10 minutes past 11 here in the night in South Africa. Very, very late, and we have to speak among our group. So thank you all for being here with us, and I only hope this will be edifying to you. Please like, share, subscribe to Just a Word, and remember our second channel, Just a Word Shorts. That's the channel where we have our short of videos. That's the channel where they hate me and despise me, and where they quarrel with me, and where they call me an idiot, and where they call me all sorts of things. Because the word is different from the word that they have received. Yes? And that is where we strive to edify people who do not have the attention span to go through these long videos. All right? So please go there and please share these videos. Just a Word Shorts is very precious because it has the ability to actually it has the ability to actually reach a lot of people about different teachings. So many people have been edified by the teachings that we have. So many people's lives have been turned around by it. Please help by subscribing to it and sharing. All right, thank you all for being here with us, and shalom.